Hey all, I've been getting a few questions about how to utilize the Scrappin Cop's new action for following a path with a brush. And let's go ahead and see how this works. First, I made an arrow, and I did this simply by using the custom shape tool. So you can make a path out of any shape. So make a shape on its own layer of any shape, and we're going to make a selection of that by holding down the control key and clicking on the thumbnail in the layers palette. And you can see now I have marching ants around this arrow. Your next step is to make sure you have your foreground color as the color you want your brush to be. And your next step is to activate the brush tool. Now, if you just use a plain round brush, it's just going to put a stroke around this, and it's not going to be very interesting. It's not going to be any different than if you would put a stroke around this element yourself using the stroke selection outline feature here under the edit drop down menu. You want to get a brush that is dynamic, or you want to create a dynamic brush. And so if I wanted to make this brush more dynamic, first I'm going to note how large my brush is. And I want to make this brush a little bit larger. And then I'm going to go into the brush options, and to make it more dynamic, changing the hue, changing the scatter or the spacing is really what's going to make it more dynamic. And so if I want to make a row of dots rather than just a line, I'm going to spread that out, and I'm going to look up here in the thumbnail view to see how far apart they are. And I think that's good, and I'm going to go ahead and scatter this one too, just so you can see how it works. Now I have my foreground color set, and I'm got my brush active. You want your brush active. I've installed this in the guided area of Photoshop Element 7. If you've installed it in the effects palette, you would navigate to it there. Bring up the guided action player. And I've already got this chosen from the last time I've used it, her action. And so I'm going to simply now hit play action. And then continue. And continue again. And now you can see how that threw scattered dots all around that arrow in the foreground color. And it actually put it on a new layer. And I have some others I've made here. And there's a one I used with her brushes that I've downloaded off of her site. Let me show you how I did that. Actually, let me show you how I made this. And I actually made it with this tutorial. I am going to make all that invisible. Let's create a new layer, and I use the rounded rectangular tool. Oh, it doesn't look too rounded, so I need to go get the rounded one and make sure my radius is set to something that'll work. And I think that works there. Simplify. Now I'm going to hold down my control key and click to get marching ants around this. I want my frayed edge to be orange. And now I'm going to go get my brush. And is it still down here? It looks like I need to go load it. And this is a frayed fabric brush that I got off of the Scrappin Cop's blog. And I'm going to choose one of these, and I'm just gonna, I think, choose this one here. Whoa, now you can see my brush is very large, and so I need to use my bracket keys to make it much smaller. So now I have my brush active and the foreground color that I want. So I can go to the guided action player area. With my software running, it takes a while for it to come up and play the action. And she actually has several actions. She has one where it will put it outside of the selection, or inside the selection, or exactly on the selection. I'm going to hit this, and you can see now that I'm going to make this invisible, my original layer. And you can see that's kind of cute the way it is. If I wanted to leave this as a matte, my last one I actually merged these two layers, and I actually went back and cut off the edges. But I think for this one I'm going to leave it as it is. And now I need some texture for this, and I have some here that I've brought in. So I'm going to put it on the layer above this layer. Hit Control-G to group them. Now you can see it's really starting to take on, so it's a little bit more realistic. Next I'm going to change my blending mode to hard light, and now I have a cool matte that I can use on my layout. And I'm probably going to share this on my blog for you to download and put it in my next kit that's coming out. And I want to thank Deb for this awesome action. You can use any, since we have a couple minutes left, let me show you something. Real quick, make my marching ants. Let's go get a different brush. It's not letting me, that's because I'm not on the brushes. If I can find it. Oh, now I don't know where it was. Well, here's one. Here's one with the little leaf, scattered maple leaf. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Let's go quickly run that action so you can see what it does. Just want to give you an idea of how you can utilize so many brushes. You can even create your own brushes. And now that's a little bit drastic, but it scattered leaves all the way around that path. The first time I ran it, it didn't have that many leaves scattered everywhere, but that just kind of gives you an idea. So if you play with this, you'll see so many different fun things that you can do with it. Just use your imagination. I've already got my imagination running. Have fun.